Courtney Williams was tremendous for 2 years, and then Liv, and that was the sell to her, and all she has to do is screen roll.
Yep.
We talked to her about her post-ups and, you know, being efficient, and she embraces that.
Nailed that.
Yeah, she did, yeah. But I think it's about challenging them and pushing them and not settling for, and Tashi wanted that, you know, like, you know, as a young player, I was hard on her, really hard on her. And so now she's in the role where I'm hard on her, but she's playing, and that was the difference.
Yeah.
You know, Brunson and Fowles were ahead of her
Yep.
when she was here before. You know, that was tough for a young player.
Yeah. Awesome. Are they going or?
Yeah,
Should we jump in with the meeting?
Yeah, let them.
I mean, not the Durham meeting.
Yeah. Move Cassidy.
Hey Cheryl,
Hey, Cassidy.
I was curious, like, looking back at some stats, and obviously you guys are doing, you know, kind of have seen a jump in points in the paint. That's probably not surprising with a player like Liv running point and Tosh coming in. But I was curious, like, how from a coaching perspective, when you're coming off a couple years where, like, Fee has obviously been a, you know, top paint scoring player, but now you kind of have two, like, how that maybe impacts, like, how you balance, like, who's getting looks, or like what added element that brings to the team when you have dual threats and like two players that are in the top, I think 6 points in the paint.
Well, they're in points in the paint because they play pick and roll together. You know, Liv is just tremendous at, you know, reading, and Howie, you know, she's the recipient of the pick and roll in the paint, you know, or if we run plays for her, you know, back to the basket. That's just been a really good space. So it's not a choice. I think it's like, okay, a little bit of Liv right now. All right, now we're gonna hit him a little bit of Howard right now. And obviously when Fee gets back, we'll hit him with some feet too.
And Terry.
You made it home, or you're still, no, you're still there?
I'm still in,
Okay,
I'm still in
you're
Brady
not-
Knoxville.
Okay, oh, I know.
I know you, not the conventional pregame for you today, and I know you
What
gotta
do you
go
mean?
right back to business mode, but I'm just curious if you've had, you know, any more time to think about, you know, the weekend here in Knoxville, and just if there was a highlight or two, or if you got to have a moment to just sort of let it all sink in for that achievement for you.
Yeah, so you can finish your story, I'll contribute here. I think throughout the weekend, I think, you know, being announced, you know, that I was gonna be in the hall, et cetera, that's one thing. That's exciting in of itself. But to actually be in Knoxville at the hall is a completely different feeling. And I use the word overwhelming a lot, in that in the hall, the history of women's basketball, you know, the artifacts that they have, and the way they display things, and you know, there's 200 inductees, and so the overwhelming part of it for me is just having inspirations, you know, from so many of these women when I was a young coach, and to, you know, to now think that, you know, I was going to have a spot in that same place. It's pretty overwhelming, and it's hard to wrap your mind around, for sure.
We can take one more question from the room.
Just kind of on that note, Coach, and first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
But when you first get into coaching and you think about what your goals are, what your dreams are, and now, you know, for you to experience being a part of that Hall of Fame class, do you reflect and think, I never could have imagined, or was this kind of always the hope and the dream?
Never the hope and the dream. I don't think like that. I remember as an assistant at George Washington, my first full-time position, just, you know, watching games and scouting games, and inspiration for us, you know, at that time was Pat Summitt. You know, a badass woman, strong, that I saw myself in. But did I think I could be Hall of Fame? No, I thought if I could be a 10th of what she was, that'd be a hell of a career. And so just wanted to learn, you know, what it would take. But no, I was never a person that said, I'm gonna be in the Hall of Fame as a coach one day. You know, that never crossed my mind.
Thanks, guys.